Is QuickBooks slowing your business down? Do you have challenges managing inventory, project profitability, or just getting paid fast enough? Get your business to a better place and graduate to NetSuite today. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need, all in one place, instantaneously. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite.
Join the over 24,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/humor. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/humor. netsuite.com/humor.
Welcome to Cosmic Channels. Open minds on cosmic lines. To call in to future episodes of Cosmic Channels, follow Cosmic Channels on YouTube and Twitch and tune in live Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. The number is 1-833-703-0424. The Cosmic Channels are open.
I'm BJ Cheeks.
I'm Zeltron.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
Welcome back to Cosmic Channels and a happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Those of you listening live, I guess you fucked up.
Yep.
You done fucked up.
Didn't go your way.
Why have one Valentine when you can have 4 Valentines?
Oh, that's a good point.
Right
This
here.
is true. So,
We
All right.
I mean, obviously, we're hosting a podcast right now, so we're not doing very great.
Yeah,
ourselves,
we're not any
but that's
better.
fine.
I'm drinking a expensive bottle of wine by myself. So happy Valentine's
actually-
Day.
Cracked open some champagne.
Right before this podcast started, I just finished building my doghouse that I'm going to be living in for a while.
excellent.
So that's good.
All right. Tonight, we're looking for calls about the notorious case of Elisa Lam.
Your thoughts on it? Netflix just came out with a docu-series. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called. Crime Watch, The Missing
Crime
Tower,
Scene. Crime
The
Scene.
Missing Tower or something.
The missing tower. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And it basically chronicled the story of Elisa Lam and why it gripped so many people. We talked about it on ATT. God, must have been 5 years ago. It's probably one of the first case files we ever did.
It was like 9.
Yeah, it was case file 9 of the main show ATT. It was probably the first actual case we did where we looked we kind of looked into it and got oh shit. And it's been yes, we haven't really talked about it since. And then this documentary came out, so we said, well, let's see if anyone wants to call in. What thoughts on it after 5 years, Braden?
I mean, I would probably do it a little differently if we did that case file now today.
Probably.
But it's still a fast. It's one of those easy ones to fall down because there's so many of these fascinating coincidences or alleged coincidences happening all in this round time that really kind of sparked that interest that everyone loves in these true crime and mystery cases. The docuseries, I wasn't the biggest fan of the storytelling in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay, but it's hard. We've talked about a pre-show. It's hard to, when this just about every podcast and show, and there's been YouTube on Elisa Lam, and everything ranges from 20 minutes to an hour, and then this comes out and needs quadruple the amount of time to tell the exact same story. It just drags on a little long, in my opinion. But the story itself still fascinating. believe the same I did 5 years ago when we first did the case. No, with some of the new information that's come to light with, you know, the docuseries and stuff, I don't know if my beliefs are exactly the same as they were then, but still a fascinating case.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, I don't think it was back then. We were just, you know, it was more about having fun with the boys than giving beliefs. But yeah, I mean, what there's still a lot of things of it, like the video in the elevator and just the entire case. It's obviously it's been captivated so many people for the reason, because there's a tons of things in it. You're like, okay, well, how this and how that and how this, but like just how that she could have gotten the water tank, I think is still, for me, when they say like it's still death by drowning, it just seems like there probably might have been more that we'll probably never uncover. Andrew?
Yeah, I'm probably on the opposite end of you guys, to be honest with you. Like for me, you know, last time we talked about this fucking case file, I don't think any of us were wearing pants.
No,
Probably
we were
not.
too busy screaming the whole time because we scared each other with our theories. And you know what I mean? And the couple, like some of the big glaring questions I had when we initially did this case file was stuff like, why the fuck was the doors on the elevator staying open like that? Like that made no sense. That was bizarre. There must have been somebody on the outside of the elevator holding, you know what I mean? The button to keep it open.
Yep.
There's stuff like there's no way she could have closed that door on herself after she jumped in the tank. And obviously there's the bizarre behavior with, you know, the hand gestures and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, that documentary blew apart every single question I had and answered them for me easily. And my initial conclusions when we talked about it was, you know, we knew her mental health history, and, you know, I was already along the path of some type of, because we knew she was bipolar. So there was some type of manic psychosis, you know, which was, I was kind of thinking on, but I was like, I never understood the elevator and I never understood the door to the water tank. And I don't know if you guys want to get into it, but the fucking documentary completely answered those questions for me.
About the door on the elevator? What about the potential foot that you've seen in the security footage?
That's what I didn't. They were talking about the foot, but it looks like hers. She turned that corner already, and it looks like it's the back of her heel. And that's what I saw.
Well, that it's, to me, when I looked at it, it was so blurry, it's hard to tell. But it looked like it might have been the front of a foot rather than the heel, because it looked like it was there before she stepped out of the elevator.
Yeah, from when I look at it, it looks like to me like she cleared the side of the elevator and her foot kind of steps back. That's the thing. The one thing that I still kind of think is a little bit shady is the missing footage and the blocking of the time stamping. That's weird.
Right, because it was missing, 53 seconds, right?
53 seconds. And the police, the detectives, when they explained that, I didn't really buy that, because they didn't even sell themselves on it. You could tell they seemed kind of like, well, this could be why. And it's like, well, shouldn't you fucking know? You guys would be the ones responsible for that.
Well, the only thing was, when they talked about it, you know, at least one of the detectives is like, we don't know where that footage leaked from. They didn't put it out. They don't know if it was leaked.
They did. I thought they said they did release it.
No, it was leaked. They said that it was leaked from somewhere. They don't know whether it was leaked from the police department, or they don't know whether it was leaked from some media source. So the thing is, their explanation is that video that's put out is not the original version. So it may have been slowed down for media purposes. It might have been something cut out because there was somebody in there and they didn't want to show this, because you can't put somebody in there, you know, just because or whatever. Like it'd be some kind of
yeah, some poor bastard's like on the elevator with her being like, Can I get out, please? Like, you're acting weird and scaring me.
Yeah, and the slowing down of frames, they said that the probable cause for that was that normally they will slow down, you know, news sources and things like that will slow down these videos in order to get a look at their face, so perhaps somebody would be able to identify her.
Yeah,
Right.
That makes sense to me. But could you imagine, like, you're waiting for the elevator, the door slowly opens and there's this chick just doing her arms all creepy like that? You'd be like, I'm gonna take the next one. That's okay. You go ahead. No, that's fine.
Now,
I'm gonna take the stairs.
Dude, that's me. That's me if the elevator opens and there's a normal person standing there. Honestly,
keep going.
I'm like,
it's good.
I would, if a person opened that, I would walk the other way. I'd be like, oh, I didn't need the elevator. The one thing that always got me that, you know, it didn't really, maybe it did answer it in that, and I didn't get to that, was that the top floors were for permanent residences and they had a card. Right.
Well,
and that's how they kind of said that she may have gotten out to the ladder to get to the roof, but she would have needed access, by someone who is a permanent resident of the hotel.
Well, no, the permanent residents were like in that documentary, they say like when they split, because in like 2008 or something, they split it to a few floors stay on main, which was like a separate lobby and separate hotel. And the first 2 floors were permanent residents. Then it went stay on main for 3. And then the top section of the hotel was the hotel actual, like if you booked. And so, so when we first did the case, I remember saying like, oh, how would she get to the roof? Like there's gotta be an emergency ladder or something. But when you look into the building, it's actually the fire escape goes from the main bottom floor to the roof.
And the police dogs trace the scent to the fucking top floor exit to the fucking fire escape.
Yeah, but I don't know about the private access though. Like if the actual hotel guests could access the residents, or like the stay on main could access the floors above.
Well, but if she wasn't staying in the stay on main. She was staying in the Cecile Hotel, and from what I understand, she got moved to that floor because she was acting extremely bizarre and concerning her roommates by leaving them fucking rando notes saying like, leave now, run away. Or when they would try to get in, she'd be like, what's the password? Which again, kind of leans to some sort of mania, in my opinion.
Gracie on YouTube commented that she was always so confused of why you would stay in that hotel with its super shady past. And that hotel does have a super shady past of like tons of serial killers and, unsavourable folk.
Well, that's the part of the documentary that I thought was really good, was the first episode when they go through the history of the hotel itself.
But
that history is not listed on TripAdvisor.
And here's the thing: like we've walked, like the 3 of us have been to that hotel. It was under renovations, but like from the front, it hasn't changed, and it doesn't look that bad
from the outside.
When you walk,
that hotel has been there for a long time. Like it is and I guarantee you, if you go to any hotel that was built around the same time, you will also have like a also creepy past.
Yeah, but like
not that creepy.
For me though, it makes sense to me that she stayed there. She's traveling. She's a student. She obviously doesn't have very much money. You know what I mean? Staying there, $85 a night. Like that's when you search on Google for hotels, it's not going to tell you, wow, Richard Ramirez used to fucking wear his blood-soaked ginch up to his room there, or Jack Unterweger used to be up there fucking choking prostitutes. Well, you know what I mean? Like,
they interviewed that couple from the UK who when you book like a cheap travel package, it'll just say hotel downtown the city. You don't know until you get there. So they showed up and they go to the Cecile Hotel and they're like, okay, I guess you get what you pay for. And after a few nights, they're like, no, this place is fucking crazy.
Yeah, why is the water brown? That doesn't make any sense.
Probably didn't just want to stay in that area. Like we stayed in that area and like 2 nights was enough. I wouldn't want to stay in Skid Row for more than 2 days.
I'll be honest with you, as like those scenes that they were giving us of Skid Row, I'm like, that looks like an upgrade on the fucking downtown east side.
Dude, when we went to LA, we stayed 2 blocks from that hotel. Yeah. I had no idea when I booked the Airbnb. We were like one block over and 2 blocks down or something. And there it was. You could almost see it from our Airbnb.
I have a selfie with the water tower in the background.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
First caller of Elisa Lamb. Let's bring him in. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
What is going on?
Oh, we're discussing a little Elisa Lamb case. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, sir. I'm Elliot, Indiana. Love you guys to pieces. And the Elisa Lamb. Holy shit! I can't believe we're finally talking about this again.
There we go.
Can I cuss? I'm sorry.
No, you can say whatever you want. You take responsibility for it, though.
How you guys doing, man? I'm feeling so good to be here.
Gotta have you.
So I don't know exactly where you guys left off, but
we're just looking for pretty much your theories and thoughts on the case, because we've just been going through like when we first did it.
You about it, like unanswered questions you have.
Okay, so I'm loving the theories that you guys are bringing up about the, like, I think that Andrew, I'm sorry, but I love the theory that, like her foot is right there at the end, kind of like of the camera frame.
Yeah.
Instead of it being someone else's foot. But also, let's go ahead and go back to kind of like where this all stemmed from, the theories about the active camouflage.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that was someone.
This could have been someone else's foot.
Now, if again, it's been a while since I've really taken a deep dive into this, but to refresh everyone's memories, she had tweeted about a Canadian company signing a contract with an American firm to work on active camouflage, and that building where the active camouflage, where the Canadian company was working with this United States company, I can't remember, it was called Electrical Light or something like that. It was literally 2 blocks away from the Cecil Hotel, very close by. And now that I think about it more and more, like, you see those active camouflage shields that are now in the mainstream media and stuff you can watch out. I'm like, some of those like grainy footage that you just take for grainy footage, I'm like,
okay.
So I was gonna say, actually, I'm in school right now for just a general IT kind of stuff, and I want to let you guys know, like, we're being taught about active camouflage, like it is, like it's in the curriculum, and I can get you maybe some material that would kind of back that up.
Yes,
dude. Yes, sir. I'd love to do that. So this is actually, I guess we're backpedaling again, but we're capable of doing these things. And of course, like they say, especially with Area 51, we're 50 years behind what they actually have. Know what I mean?
Right. So what we're seeing now is just what they're allowing to see. So it could be way
exactly
ahead. Gotcha.
Exactly.
So an active a company that has the capability to effectively deploy active camouflage and then somehow pose a girl who is bipolar, has a history of bipolar, and they want to drown her.
Dan, I'm so happy to hear your voice. Okay, right? and so this is exactly what they would do. I mean, yes, anybody with an active history of having something that, Downs or bipolar or fucking depression, pardon again my language.
Yep.
Thank you. My bad. I mean, what better target? Do you know what I mean? For a test subject? For someone that you could actually,
a homeless person,
this person did not know what they were stepping into. First off. Secondly, I can give you the reason that whatever happened, because guess what? This person was, definitely, not on everybody else's level, quote unquote. But at the same point, I mean, I'm bipolar a bit because my grandmother was bipolar, and so by extension, technically, I have like the capability of becoming that. More often than not.
It can be hereditary. It can be passed down.
Yep.
No, I kind of like that, because I was thinking in my head of like, maybe this was some sort of like, it could be, and I'm taking some liberties here, but imagine it's some sort of like CIA MK Ultra where they have this technology and they're seeing the extent they can push people when you can't be seen.
I mean, for me, the thing that jumps out here is maybe like this is a reach for me personally, but for me,
let's not forget the CIA was taking people off the street to have sex with prostitutes and film them and give them LSD. That was a real thing.
Yeah, but for reasons they were using it to get fucking like blackmail and shit on people. Whereas what I'm saying, like for me, is I see someone who works for this company that is taking these products and using it on their own for malicious fucking uses.
We're not even talking about the CIA. We're talking about a private company.
Exactly. Yeah, so even I don't see the point in going after this random Canadian traveler when there's
your whole company at risk.
There's people
why would you do that?
There's people without family and anybody that knows what the fuck's happening to them on the streets that they could experiment on and do anything at any point in time they want. So to me, I think that maybe whoever, if that's the case, if somebody's using that technology, they're using it on their own, rogue, and just being a piece of shit.
Right.
Like maybe she went out, met one of these guys that works at this company at the bookstore having a coffee, you know what I mean? And he's fucking around with her and showing her this camouflage.
So
and then
some Hollow Man scenario.
Yeah, right? Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
So let's think about it, because she was actually getting into some research, I believe, that you guys said a couple of years ago that would lead her down the path to kind of discover some of this stuff. Is that, am I incorrect, or
It's been a while.
maybe I
It's
did?
been a while.
We were in our underwear, man.
Me
We
too.
didn't really know what we were talking about.
I do recall her posting. She had posted about these
Some
companies
things.
getting these like military
And Braden.
contracts, but whether she was researching it
I'm so happy to hear
or
your
doing
voice.
anything to that, I couldn't. I have no idea.
Like active camouflage is not a super secret. Not the proprietary and how they do it, like how certain companies do it. I'm sure those are secrets. Like those are, they don't want people, taking their patents.
Proprietary blends.
Right. So, her tweeting about that would just be like, maybe she just thought that was cool, because I think that's cool. Like I post that stuff on, like when they did the active camouflage example in the fucking James Bond movie back in, what was it? Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
Oof.
Tomorrow Never Dies. And it's like, that's active. The idea for active camouflage has been around for a while, and a company winning contracts for active camoufage, not that unusual. And was she employed by a company? I can't remember. Was she employed by a company she wasn't, right?
She was in
Student.
school. She was
a
actually a college student for a Canadian university that I think that's what you guys said back in the day. But at the same point, and
Yeah.
here's something else. The beauty of selecting the Elisa Lam, the Lemalese, if you will, is that she was just a random person. I mean, we can dispute or debate upon, what is her significance in this entire case. But in the end, she does have a psych record, which I hope that our friend of a friend can agree with. But at the same point, it would just be super easy to discard her word, or let's just say really anything that happened to her, especially with kind of how she ended up, which is in a tank. Which, how did she get there? She obviously would have had to put herself in there, or there would have had to have been some external force that basically put her there. Does that make sense?
Well, I think one of the biggest questions for me left off was that the fact that we were all told the lid was closed, which then to me didn't make sense about how this woman closed this heavy tank on herself while dropping in, whether she had to pin it herself. But I think that was been refuted and basically said no, it was open. The lid was
during
open.
the proceedings where Elisa Lam's parents sued the Cecil Hotel and their liability, it basically blaming them, saying it was their fault. They didn't take enough precautions in order to keep their daughter from somehow getting onto the roof and then allegedly into the tank. Discovery did come out that the person who was responsible for cleaning the roof and cleaning the tanks, when he found her body, they asked her on it, both in the legal proceedings and they asked him on the documentary, they asked him was the tank open when you got there? And he said, yes, it was open when I got there. It was open.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't closed
It was not
after she
closed.
fell in.
No.
Or at least
So even better. I'm sorry for their story, because exactly, it was open. There was no way that, a person who jumped into the cellar could have closed the cellar behind them. Know what I mean?
No, and especially too because it wasn't a hinged door either. It was a cover more than a door.
Right. Hey, buddy. Know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I feel you.
Oh, I hear you though. So you're saying that if someone was, complicit in her death,
I think it's super easy just to pin this on her just by leaving a, like a door open.
Leaving it open.
By also understanding that she did have some type of mental history, unfortunately. And that's not her fault. It, could have been really whatever. But at the same point, they needed a test subject, and all they needed was one occupant of the hotel. That's all they needed, and that's my theory. To test this out, an American and or Canadian conglomerate.
When you say it's an organization that's doing this, I can buy it, because there's no way in hell a single person could have got her in that tank on their own. Not a chance. There's no way. Nobody could have slung them on her back, climbed that ladder, and tossed her in the tank. So it would have had to have been some type of team organization.
Right. Even if they would have got her on the roof, to Andrew's point, like the door that has access to the roof is an emergency access and is alarmed. So the only way to access the roof without actually setting off the alarm would have been to go up the fire escape. So somehow they would have had to get her all the way up to the fire escape to the roof without setting off the alarm.
Well, yeah. Or it could have been they didn't carry her or drag her. They were they were with her up there and something happened. Could also been part of the theory, right? Like they were up there together.
So carrying their active camouflage gear up the ladder and getting her up there, I suppose. I'm not sure what exactly the active camouflage the company was working on, whether it was the type of, the shield that we've seen before, the proof of concept that some companies have put forth where it's kind of just bends light. Was it the kind of one that's like the actual cloak they put on, or it's ones where they project the image around them
from the back to the front? Yeah.
So I'm not sure, because some of these active camouflage things seem like they need a kind of a pretty decent setup. And it's not exactly 100% mobile.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Right.
Yet.
Right.
Hey, man. Hey, sorry to cut you off, but we've been on the line for a while, so we're going to see if anyone else has any theories. But to summarize, your theory is that private company working with this potentially used her as a test subject to see if it worked, kind of thing.
Well, I think that, yep, that's a pretty good sum up. Thank you so much for your guys' time. Love you guys for the longest time, and keep on doing what you're doing.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Thanks for listening.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Have a good night.
Right on.
Bye.
Peace.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it was called what was that?
Industrial Light.
Well, no, there's Industrial Light and Magic. That's an actual Hollywood effects company, but I don't think
it's the Lucasfilm.
That's not the right one.
That's not the right one, but it's like a company sounds kind of like that.
That's Star Wars.
Yeah, that's Industrial Light and Magic.
And who owns Star Wars now?
Disney.
Boom! Solved. You know what we haven't touched on, though, and for me, is the most bizarre concept in this whole case is the fucking tuberculosis test.
The Lam Elisa?
The Lam Elisa spelt the exact same way. That fucking makes my brain explode. I don't understand.
That's
really
just
one of those. That's just one of those perfect coincidences where you're like,
it's so perfect.
It's so
though.
perfect.
Like how it can't get any more perfect than that.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
You have a girl's name's reversed is the name of a tuberculosis test that they're doing on all the homeless population and stuff.
In that area.
And in the hotel, there was people who had tuberculosis in the hotel. The manager was saying as well. That's the one thing where I'm like, that's way too fucking weird. That's like some guy walking by the poster being like, we're going to fucking fuck with people's heads and name this test that.
All right. That's a pretty crazy theory, but let's bring in another caller. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good. What's your name?
Yes.
Where are you calling from?
It's Cody from Manitoba.
Oh, Cody, it's been a while.
Cody, welcome back.
What's up, man?
How you guys been? Sorry, it's been a while.
No, it's all good. We've been good.
Pretty good.
What's your thoughts on Elisa Lam?
Well, I don't have really much because unfortunately I did not watch the documentary, but my friend was talking to me about it. And one of the things I did have a thought on, because the guy before me was saying how, one of the theories is, of course, that she was used as kind of a test subject for whatever, whether it was the active camouflage or even, like a biological weapon type of thing. And I'm wondering maybe like one of the theories I have is maybe she was maybe she was hypnotized to do it herself. So like, like mind control type of deal.
Well, she honestly, when you watch the video, it looks like someone's experiencing like a hallucinogenic trip. And if you go with like government and like MK Ultra and like dosing, like it seems like she's on a trip of some kind just by looking.
Or suffering from manic psychosis.
Yeah, manic psychosis.
Yeah. but that's what I mean.
Which
like
she's had before.
The manic psychosis and like a psychological trip, like but from acid and stuff, could maybe you would experience the same type of stuff. And like, I mean, I can't speak for the manic depressant issues, but like as far as taking that kind of stuff, like you're a different person completely, which is kind of like being a manic, right? You're not the same person as you normally would be.
Yeah. But I mean, how hard would it be to take someone like Elisa Lam or, anybody really, and, just kind of warp their brain and tell them, hey, this is what you need to do because, like wipe her mind after, but this is your mission kind of deal because we need to test this out to see maybe, new test subjects for a new cure or something like that, right? So they, get, like they inject her with something or put something inside of her, and then she crawls herself into that tank, and then, like, of course, like you guys said, there was a giant outbreak of TB around the area, so that would give whoever's behind this really good amount of subjects to test a new cure on or something,
So, or maybe a manufactured form of tuberculosis that was used to cull the homeless population in Skid Row.
Yeah, so
that's a good one too.
That's a good point. Yeah. And it's like, but why would they use her as a test subject when it's like, okay, we know nothing about you. Even if they had her access to her medical records, they would be like, you're probably not the ideal test subject. You are on medications of some sort, or you have been in the past. We probably wouldn't want to use you for the results that we would get from testing this whatever on you, like whether it's a biological weapon or some type of thing like that. Just wouldn't be good science.
Well, but Dan, what happens if, you know what I mean, they do the test on her and they don't want it to get out, and if for some reason she's able to get out and starts telling people about it, they'd be like, listen, this lady's obviously manic and you can't trust what she's saying.
But what if she didn't? Because then, even if she didn't, and then you'd like, okay, well, is this a result of interactions with her drugs? Like, if something bad happens to her, is this a result of interactions with her drugs? Is this a result of some type of whatever? Is this something mental disorder or a genetic thing? It just seems to me that if you were testing a biological weapon, you would probably want to be able to test it in a controlled manner, like most scientists do.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you. I'm spitballing here, man.
Those are the legit scientists, not the secret government.
Well, even I go to this, even the Nazis tested their stuff under strict controls.
Strict.
For me, it would make more sense if she saw or heard something she shouldn't have, and they had to get rid of her. You know what I mean? As opposed to them testing something on her,
right?
But why? But I mean, it seems really strange to me that why would you want to kill somebody who is, number one, not in their home country, also has citizenship in Canada and U.S. So now you're involving two whole countries, two whole governments. Like, it seems like kind of a hassle to be like, well, we've got to kill her, as opposed to we'll just let her go away because, well, she has manic depressive disorder, bipolar disorder anyways. And if we're going to put the stigma of mental illness on her, then that would take away from her credibility anyway. So why not just let her live?
Well, yeah, I don't think she's a prime candidate. Like, look how many fucking detectives they assigned to that case initially. She had her own fucking crime force.
There's like 24 detectives.
I agree. I don't think she's a prime candidate for this either. We're just trying to come up with
we're spitballing. So that's that. So
I'm just asking. I'm just being like, sure, if that were the case, like if that was a theory, then I'd be like, yeah, that's a good theory. Unless,
well, that's fine. Then, Cody, quick summary on your theory, and now we're gonna have to move on.
Yeah, somebody was just like, I guess in my mind, why not use somebody who, like you said, has mental illness? That way they could chalk it up to that. Simple as that.
Right.
And then, they have a ton of test subjects that they could do testing on if they need to do it. That's all.
Right. Yeah. It's a crazy case.
Yeah, that's my point.
All right, brother.
It
Hey,
is crazy. I'm definitely looking
Thanks,
forward
Cody.
to watching the documentary.
yeah, I
Right
mean,
on, man.
it dragged it on a little bit much, but it's worth the watch. I'd give it
If you don't have all the time to watch the whole thing, sit down and watch the last episode.
a boom.
Prepare yourself to hear the words "internet sleuth" about 500,000 times.
That's amazing. Internet sleuth.
Now the other like area where this
Do
could
they
go,
say
I think,
internet sleuths or web sleuths?
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
internet sleuth, but
Is it internet? Okay, internet gives a little bit
Same shit.
more credibility. Apparently, I don't know. For me, if I said web sleuths, I was like, that sounds stupid. Internet sleuths, a little bit more.
now I start to lean into the paranormal too with this one, where it's like you have this person, like, let's take out these outside factors of whether, you know, there's active camouflage going on or manipulation by an outside force. But what if it's like this person has these this condition in a hotel that is just surrounded by like a ton of like dark history, and I'm sure, like, you know, dark energy around that place, the amount of shit that's gone on there. I wonder if that had some, you know, untangible factor in her mental health and her stopping her medication while being at that hotel.
There's definitely a river of pink slimy sludge running underneath that fucking
Yeah.
hotel.
Vigo.
Yeah. Negative energy.
It's Vigo.
like Vigo the Carpathian.
Was she sleeping
with
with a picture of Vigo the Carpathian in her room? Maybe. Mm?
Probably. I agree with you. It's, you know what though, Braden? Like I'm pretty big on naysaying that type of shit too. But you know what I mean? When I went to Alcatraz for the first time, it blew my mind. I couldn't explain it.
Juju.
I couldn't explain it. I've never had that feeling before. I've been around dead people. I've been in murder scenes. I've seen terrible shit. I've never felt the way I felt there, like the heaviness of that place.
Compound
it felt like there
death.
was weights on my shoulders, and I just wanted to get the fuck
But
out of there.
perhaps that's intentional.
Totally.
Perhaps that's the way they built it. Perhaps they want you to feel that way.
It could be,
and it's just a design. It's just a product of the design.
More
of the prison.
likely, it would be psychosomatic. It's something
Sure.
I'm creating in my brain, and it's not fucking real. But I've never felt those feelings before, and I've been around.
Have you ever been to
negative shit.
Alcatraz before?
I've never even heard of Alcatraz, but
Okay.
Now, what if it's just one of those things where maybe she went to that hotel specifically? Maybe she was, you know, not a fan, but like a fan of the lore, right? Of the legend.
she would have
of
blogged
like,
about it.
She would have
of this
blogged
She would've blogged
hotel.
about it. She would have mentioned it in her blog.
Okay,
She would have been.
okay,
fucking-
I know we just keep going here. So, Cody, you still on the line?
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
These guys, the guy they forgot it was a call-in show. So, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, man. We're gonna move on now.
I thought we were pulling another caller. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still there.
I
Wrong
thought-
on, Cody.
You
Thanks,
gave
sir.
it no opportunity to end. Thanks, Cody. We'll talk to you again. See you, bro.
Thanks,
Listen to a
Cody.
few
All right,
assholes
take care, guys.
pontificate over here.
You're a dick.
I couldn't get in. You just kept going. Nothing I can do.
I thought you'd already said goodbye. Like I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I said bye.
yeah,
I
we
was
were
like,
like,
yeah, thanks,
I was
man.
saying goodbye to Cody, and then about 8 theories came through. I just let him fly. All right, we're gonna bring another caller in now. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ryan from Florida.
Rylan from Florida. Thanks for calling.
What's up, man?
Oh, Rita.
Oh,
Rita.
what's your thoughts? What's your theories on Elisa Lam?
Well, my theory starts with Nazi Germany.
Here we go.
As all good
Here we
theories
go.
do.
Take us back.
Buckle
Take
up.
us back.
Buckle up.
No, I can't figure out what kind of theory I have. It's just hard to. I definitely understand how bipolar can actually cause that someone to act that way, and then possibly go up to the roof and get into the actual tank. That's definitely plausible, but there's too many synchronicities with the whole thing. You know, with the zip code of the bookstore being the exact plot for where she's buried. That's kind of weird.
that's pretty
another
weird. I feel like
thing
somebody
is
did
the
that
TV
intentionally.
outbreak. What was that?
It just feels like somebody like that might not be the real fucking zip code. Somebody just hacked it and put that in there. One of these internet sleuths.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You talked about it earlier, the TB outbreak using the Lamb Elisa test.
Yep.
So bizarre.
That's kind of weird. And I don't understand why the video was so messed up. Like with the actual digital part of it, you can't see what's
Yeah, it's like blurred out.
what part of the video is. Yeah, it is blurred out. You don't understand. You don't know how much of the actual video was lost. They speculated about 56 seconds that could have provided you more information of what's going on. I don't know. I mean, when I come across like answers I don't know, I go to, well, this is all a simulation. We don't know what the answer is. You know, it's all simulation that we're all just supposed to go for the ride. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I always thought, like we talked about it right at the start of the show, about how that leaked video might have been tampered with, and that's why the 53 seconds is missing. But it seems weird after, like, now it's been years and years since this case that that 53 seconds hasn't been shown in a full video yet. Maybe it will after this docuseries.
Why would they release it?
Well, why not end the mystery? But like here's
tease the internet sleuths.
Again, here's my thing. I'm guessing that in that 53 seconds, there's another patron that rides the elevator that they've either cleared, right, or had an alibi, or maybe is a suspect. But either way, they're not going to release that footage with charges.
Just look at what happened. Technically, now look at what happened to Morbid, the death metal
bastard,
the poor guy who had nothing to do with Elisa Lamb's death, just happened to stay in the Cecil Hotel.
Wait a second. What do you mean nothing to do with it, Dan? He writes music about death, and he stayed at the hotel
death metal,
a year before she died. She was there 12 months before she died.
He wrote death metal music and stayed in the Cecil Hotel.
Why isn't he in jail for the rest of his life?
Before Elisa Lam stood there, and his entire life was ruined. Guy had a complete mental breakdown, suicide attempt.
Sounds like a guilty conscience to me.
What was that? Sorry.
So I don't think. We talked about it before, but that video that has been released to the public or leaked to the public is not the entire original.
So I mean, you haven't seen the original.
Our caller's trying to get at where the edge was.
No, I was done. Yeah.
No, I was saying that guy kind of brought it upon itself. You know, alluding to Elisa Lam. I don't wish that he had that ill will to him, like people berating him, but you know, he kind of brought it upon himself, though,
by talking about it so much.
In my opinion.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing he mentioned was China in one of his songs, and the fact that he stayed there and sings about death were the only things that they could link to.
I'm not 100% sure. Did he actually specifically mention Elisa Lam at some point? I don't think so.
Not until he started being accused.
Sorry, continue.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he actually named Elisa Lam. But there was too many key points that kind of alluded to that case.
Right. Yeah, I've not looked into that portion of this case, but it sounds like this guy didn't really have anything.
From what I understand, he just popped up in some Taiwanese internet newspaper, and they accused him of being somehow involved with Elisa Lam's murder when he had just only stayed in the hotel at some point, and he was a death metal artist. And then he got tons and tons of hate mail.
To be fair, he was a bit of a weirdo. Those pictures of Ted Bundy and Black Dahlia and his music videos of him chasing a woman in the woods and murdering her.
I mean, Braden has those too, but we can keep him on the show.
We got a good publicist. Keeps on the media. All right. Hey, we're going to move on to another caller, but we appreciate you calling in.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Love the show.
Okay. Talk to you again.
Cheers,
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Cool.
live.
I'm
YouTubing.
seeing a lot of chatter in our group chat. I don't know if anybody's on the line, but people are like, there's been a few comments like, how could she be strong enough to lift up that door and all that? There's no way they're making this door so hard that one person can't open it, because people go and perform that. Like, the guy climbed up there to perform the maintenance to check the water and all that shit to begin with. Like, obviously he could be able to open it, or else he wouldn't have gone up there on his own.
Yeah, that's part of it, is that lid should have been locked closed.
And they weren't. Like,
but
this
they
isn't
weren't.
some,
But it
like,
wasn't. Yeah, and it also wasn't policy before then. Actually, like they hadn't instituted those. Apparently, that's actually a recent thing for them, instituting policies to, if your hotel or your water has, or your building has water tanks, like above ground water tanks, you have to lock those.
I wonder what inspired that.
Well, I think
decision.
that's probably. I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm saying local business code. If you have any hazard on a roof or anywhere that someone could fall off of, it has to be completely locked to the public.
Right.
No,
and
forever.
When did that become business code?
As
when
long
did that
as
go into
I've been
effect?
a carpenter, that's been the code.
Yeah, that's
Canada.
That's
What
what I
about
mean.
Los
That's what I mean.
But they
That's what I mean. It's
also-
probably
What
Los
about
Angeles,
downtown
maybe.
East Side Los Angeles with all the hobos and drug addicts?
But they do mention in the documentary that it wasn't an obligation until recently.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
That's just
'cause
bad,
they tried
bad
to sue them
policy
for that.
That's bad policy as like the building, whoever's part of the city who's like supposed to make the building code to be like, yeah, let's just allow anyone to walk to the roof and open these 25-foot tanks and jump in.
That's what the parents sued the Cecil Hotel. Like, that was their whole basis of their case, was that they should have had those tanks
they
locked.
definitely should have, but
they
legally
told them
banned.
is like, no, we didn't have to have those locked. The only thing we had to do was have the actual access, that door that is going to the roof. We had to have an alarm. That is the bare minimum that we had to do to keep us from liability of people either jumping off the roof or perhaps, also the water tank thing. But that was all they really were obligated to do. And that's all they felt like they needed to do. And they won that case.
Yeah.
Not the parents, but the Cecil Hotel won that case.
Well, and I bet, like, something tells me that the staff would probably be used to that alarm going off and just kind of ignoring it, right? Because
smoke,
I'm sure they have a reset, but when you look at it, there's like cigarette butts, pizza boxes, all that type of shit
they
up
probably
there,
go
right?
up there,
Like,
have a smoke and stuff.
exactly. So the alarm probably did go off, and they're like, oh, fucking buddy's probably on his break, whatever. He's going to hack a dart. Fucking just, shut off the alarm, let him do his thing. Didn't think twice.
That's what I mean. And when I say, like, yeah, she probably did go on her own, but I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't with somebody who's like, I do this all the time. And like, they did it together, whatever. He got out and she drowned or whatever. And someone just left her.
Well,
not
and
murder.
like, for me, it's
just like, accidental death, and something like, I'm out of here, and not saying anything.
Maybe they went and grabbed a little bit of fucking drugs and decided to get high on the roof. She OD'd. He shit his pants, didn't know what to do, and put her in the tank. But I just don't see a human carrying her up that fucking ladder and plopping her in there.
That's what
that doesn't make sense to me.
Here's a question, Andrew. So, like, on the toxicology report, would that stuff have shown up in her system?
You would think, right? You would think that would make sense to me. But
what if you're not looking for it?
Stranger things. I think
that they ran everything.
They did a whole talk.
They didn't do a rape kit.
Yes, they did.
I thought they didn't.
No, they did do a rape kit.
Well, that's part of what
they did.
Part of the thing when we first did it is Andrew said they didn't, and that's where we got with the prolapse beehole and all that. That was not part of the case in start, but that's what we came up with when we first started doing this.
I thought there was a prolapse beehole. That was right off the fucking.
But that wasn't a documentary or anything, was not.
But why would they mention that? They just said forms of fucking.
They don't take the deep dive like we do.
Yeah, well, that's a little aggressive. I read out word for word what her fucking autopsy report was when we did it. And that muscle will relax as you decay. So it's not bizarre to me that it would fucking prolapse.
That's what I was asking. I'm about to ask. I was like, is this a medical thing where like someone decomposing will have this happen to them?
Again, I'm not going to I can't swear, but I have to do some research into it. But that's where my brain goes when I think of decay, and it's a muscle, and that shit's going to relax at some point, and maybe something to do with the water.
So they did do a rape kit then.
I start to lean more that like it is very possible in this hotel of just like we look at the history of who stayed there that someone there took advantage of her while not on medication and maybe gave the like not put her in there, but either like was like, hey, it'd be funny if you get in there, and then just left.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could be as simple something innocent where something bad happened, then someone left. There's no video of them. If the top floor is that easily accessible, you can just jump up the fire escape, climb down to any floor, go in, and like, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's a reason that it's ruled a suicide because there's no other evidence to overturn. It's
right, but it's like if they would have had something like video interviews, there would have been something.
What do you mean? A lot of the floors had no video. That's probably part of the problem as well.
Just the floor she was on? No,
that more than one camera was not working. No camera to the roof. Like there's just, I mean, obviously they don't need to have cameras on the roof, but if they, I'm sure they do now, or they did after this happened. That's what I'm saying. There's no like evidence to overturn that it was an accidental death.
No evidence that we're aware of.
Yeah, aware of. To overturn that she had a psychotic break or whatever, and she got into the water tank and she either couldn't get out or whatever happened, and she ended up passing away in the tank and then not found for, 19 days after she went missing.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a long, like enough time that people started.
The water had gone sour.
The water was tasting weird.
Yeah, that's.
I would think that would have been a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's no.
I was drinking dead people stew water, dead people soup.
Well, especially if, let's say that there was never a lid on that one water tank, you could have had birds, you could have had rodents and anything falling into that tank if it's not sealed.
Well, I think that's why they made it a policy.
Right.
Why they did it so late, I don't know, but it's like I think that probably that is supposed to be locked. At least I think that would have happened
closed.
After 9/11.
At least closed, right? It's got to be at least closed.
I think that is supposed to be closed, but that's why the guy thought it was. Probably that's why the guy actually found her, because he probably thought that's weird. That hatch is open.
Or the fact that everyone's like, the water tastes fucking weird.
Let's go find that shit out.
Well, that's because that's what he went up there in the first place, because of the low water pressure.
Water pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then it was even weirder that thing was open.
And then even weirder when there was a woman in there.
Yeah,
face up, which is
and then
weird.
Even weirder that she was dead.
Yeah. And the fact that she was flayed,
and she was even weirder supine that she didn't have clothes on.
Supine, like face up, is weirder than face down.
Yeah, yes. And drowning, big time.
Because that's just the way that body naturally is buoyant, face up.
Exactly. And
but they said she might have because she didn't she might have been trying to keep her face above water that whole time.
Oh, someone was just on the line. Call right back. I was just about to answer. Call right back. Last call of the night.
Wow, this one went by fast. Usually it's a little slower than this.
Well, it's because we're all getting heated.
We're talking this time.
Theory throwdown.
Theory throwdown coming up. All right, Cosmic Channels. Hello.
Hey, I don't really have a theory. I was just going to say I love you guys.
Well, that's all good.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Thanks.
Who are you? Where are you calling from?
All right, bye.
Oh.
Huh?
Okay.
Well,
see ya.
One more call.
That was nice.
One more call then, I guess.
Call of the night.
Call of the night. Yeah. That someone loves us. Yeah. Thank you.
Happy Valentine's
Day. Made our Valentine's.
Yeah. Appreciate the tire pump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a while. We got time for one more call tonight. But before another call comes in, final thoughts? Without any more with evidence that we see right now, final thoughts. Braden?
I'm going with history tends to repeat itself in the history of the building. I'm thinking that she, being a young, attractive lady, downtown LA, staying this hotel, attracted the attention of a ne'er-do-well, a unsavory folk who, whether or not they went up there, were having smokes together, and she climbed in and was left.
Right. Now, I think
she was in a very impressionable state, off her meds, and someone was just kind of leading her on.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't think there was no murder or foul play, but I don't think that no one, like someone knows something more that we'll probably never hear about. Someone's seen or was there when she fell in, or they went in together, and she can, like, something happened. I think, obviously, no evidence. That's more. It's not a murder. It's not just a straight suicide. I think just like an unintentional series of events led to the death of Elisa Lam. Andrew?
I would like to jump on that train because it's fun and interesting. You know, I'd like to dig into Aleister Crowley opening up some type of fucking mysterious portal. But given that the sister really opened my eyes, and just giving the background information that she had previous manic episodes, which leaned on the psychosis side, where she did have history of hallucinations, where her roommates that she was staying with complained that she was acting super bizarre and weird, and so much so that they couldn't even stay in the room with her anymore, that she was removed. And then you look at her behavior in the elevator, which looks very paranoid, delusion. You know what I mean? It looks like she feels like there are people after her. She has complained, or her sister said that she was complaining of that kind of stuff in the past. I personally think the only way that that person gets into that water tank is by climbing up there herself under her own volition. I don't think there would have been any other way to get in there personally. And I feel like this was a very misfortunate event. And I feel like this woman needed help. I feel like the hotel staff let her down. And instead of reaching out to somebody that could have helped her, because she was, you know, showing symptoms of these bizarre behaviors, but of course we got a call. So
I was just like, wrap it up.
Go ahead.
Wrap it up. Okay, before that's Andrew's. Before Dan gives hit.
Andrew, you're done.
I wanted to play some music, but all right.
I saw their finger.
All right. So before Dan gives his, let's take one more call. Hello, Cosmic Channels.
Hello.
Gotcha.
Hey, this is Nomafer.
Nomafer from where?
Nomafer from Arkansas.
Arkansas.
So I feel like I remember somewhere looking on the looking into the David Politis stuff when he went on Lisa Lam. I feel like I remember there being something about like a Latin
David Politis
or something.
So, did he say it was like, Bigfoot?
Yeah, it was Bigfoot. No, there was like some kind of a Latin text or something written on the water tank when they discovered her in the water tank. And I don't know if I'm going fucking crazy, you know, like it's some Mandela effect stuff or whatever. But like, I mean, I've tried to research it and find it. And I know I've seen it in the past, but you know, there's supposed to be some sort of like Latin text written on that water tank that she was found in, and it was kind of had like some sort of a satanic thing to it or whatever. But I haven't actually been able to find anything on it again since then. And
spooky.
Someone else mentioned that in the chat tonight as well, and
that's him. That's Nomafer.
That was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The dude we're talking to.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I know we talk. I kind of recall that too, and I'm trying to pull it up, but now that you mentioned that, I actually kind of remember seeing some sort of like marking on the outside of the tank. The issue with this one is that even some of the stuff that, you know, we had originally information where we originally had got this is gone on the internet. Like it's like trying to find her posts about the active camouflage and stuff are so difficult. So it's like a lot of this information is now like, you know, it's passed on digitally and then watered down. So it's hard, but I kind of actually remember something like that too. Now I'm interested in seeing if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole time I was watching the show tonight, like I've been trying to, you know, scour the internet trying to find this shit about it because, you know, me and another friend are pretty interested in this case and have been for, you know, a while now. And, you know, it's something that both of us, I mean, I messaged him on Discord and was like, hey, bro, I mean, am I going crazy or, you know, do you remember this? And he's like, yeah, I definitely do. And I mean, it's like a lot of the stuff that, you know, on this case has just been kind of like scrubbed from the internet almost. Like it's like there's like a certain amount of shit that, you know, we're able to look up, and some things it's just, you know, been completely scrubbed, and this is one of them.
Right.
You know?
And then the question you also have to ask yourself is, was that stuff ever printed really true?
Yeah, I mean,
did somebody when this case gained popularity, did somebody just put that on the internet and now it's gone because, you know, either somebody made a claim against it or it was just not true?
I think David Politis writes about it in his book, A Sobering Coincidence.
Okay.
I own the book. It's currently in storage, so I'll have to wait till I unpack it to dig it up and see, but maybe that's where I had read it.
Yeah, because like I said, I could have swore I saw it, you know, actually in a David Politis interview, and I mean, you know, it very well could be what, you know, Dan says. You know, it could just be some rumor stuff that really isn't true. It's just kind of to add to the mystery of the story or whatnot. But you know, I definitely remember hearing about it.
Right. Yeah, we definitely talked about it when we first did the case, but yeah. It could be because when we first did this case, it was only like not that long after the actual event happened. So now it's been another 5 years since then. So if there was information that turned out to be incorrect, it might have just been buried in the internet algorithm and pretty much impossible to find. Or it's the Mandela effect and we're in a different fucking dimension and this is all different than when we first remember it.
We should really do a case file about the Mandela effect one time.
We should do a case file.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Yeah.
I think you should, but thank you boys for taking my call. Good show tonight, and just figured I'd mention a little something about it.
No, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, right on, man.
Have a good night, boys.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, that's that'll be the last call of the night. We all did quick theories. Dan, quick theory before we wrap up.
From quick theory.
Or quick conclusion
conclusion about the more getting to wrap it up. I feel really bad about this whole thing. Like, I feel bad about her. It is absolutely tragic when a young life like hers, from what I understand, she was when she was not affected by her disease or her condition, the bipolar disorder. She was a very, you know, cheerful and normal human being, and I feel really bad for her family because this stuff has to keep being brought up over and over and over again. From what I understand, her family had wanted nothing to do with the Netflix series, whether it was the way they presented it or whether they planned, you know, how they planned the thing. I don't know, but I feel incredibly bad for them, and it's super sad that something like this had to happen, and they have to keep bringing it up. This is also one of those things where it's like new information, like one piece of information, like Andrew said, that one piece of information just about the hatch being open to the tank being open blows so much stuff out of the water or illuminates so much more about what happened. So perhaps we'll never know anything. To Braden's point, perhaps we'll not know the whole story. Perhaps there are things that happened that we'll never know because they involve other people or somebody gave an interview and it's like I'm sure the police and, you know, the media do understand the impact that they do make because there is the things like Morbid and people like that. If you involve somebody in a case like this, they automatically become a target.
Right.
So maybe we'll never really know the whole story, but whatever the story is, it's incredibly sad.
It was very beautiful, Dan. And the most beautiful part was you weren't getting fingers waved at you, but that's good.
I did at the beginning.
I waved a finger at him immediately as soon as he started talking.
As soon as I started talking.
I didn't wave a finger. I just did this 1 minute. I did a 1 minute finger. And you,
I mean, I didn't even get to finish.
Well, I said a 1 minute finger and you instantly quit. That's your own fault.
You know, we're not going to do these specific ones all the time. These are going to be few and far between. It's only when there's something timely going on, and with the release of this Netflix documentary, and you know, we all like that case. we thought we'd do it. Next week, Sunday, the 21st, we're taking all calls on UFOs and aliens. And if you listen to our main show, we'll be talking reptilians right before. So if you might give you some ideas. And then the last Sunday of the month, the 28th, we're taking open lines. Any topics. The Dream Police are putting their sirens away. We're taking any calls.
No, the Dream Police are always there. But we're just gonna they live inside
of your head.
They're always there. All right, let's wrap this one up. Next week, same time, same cosmic place. Cosmic Channels is brought to you by Big Theory Productions. The Cosmic Channels are now closed.